going on, guys? I wanted to welcome you guys to the series we're going to be doing on solid axle swapping my 2002 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD. I got the truck for $2,500 about 2 years ago. It was originally a 6-liter gas engine, 4L80 automatic transmission, and an NP263 electronic shift transfer case. Completely stock, got 250,000 miles on it, 255. Not too rusty for being from Long Island, which is pretty surprising. The frame obviously has some surface rust on it, but it was relatively clean. Still is. So basically about a year ago, I blew the 4L80 automatic transmission at about 260, 270K, and I swapped in the NV4500 manual that I got at a complete dropout swap. I changed the engine wiring harness, the transmission obviously. I also switched the transfer case to a manual shift one, and the gauge cluster, obviously installed the factory clutch pedal. I had an entire donor truck for parts, so I swapped everything over that I could, except for the steering column. I didn't want to deal with that. I just took the column shifter off and put the manual trim pieces around it so the hole was gone. So I've had plans from the beginning to solid axle swap this truck. I want to build something worthy of going on Ultimate Adventure, whether it be this year. I'm looking to make full-size Adventure in September. It's currently July. So I started this project about 2 weeks ago, and a bulk of the work is already done with the leaf springs being hung already. I'm basically just kind of trying to make an intro to the series, give you some backstory on the truck, and so you can see where we're going. So I'm looking to be on 37s, 456 gears, 14-bolt full floater in the rear, leafs front and rear. I'm going to keep the stock rear leaf springs, do a shackle flip. I got off-road design extended brake lines for that. I'm not sure what shocks I'm going to go with yet. Once all that mechanical work is done, the front is a 79 Ford Dana 60 front axle, 456 is also. It's going to be unlocked for now. I'm going to go back through that front axle once this is usable again, and I'm going to put chromoly shafts, locker, probably a lunchbox locker, go back through the axle and do it that way. For now, I just want to get it on the roadworthy again and get the suspension worked out, and then we'll go back into the running gear. I have another 6-liter. It's at a machine shop right now, getting rebuilt with a little bit healthier cam in it. I'm going to be doing 5.3 heads on that. It's a little bit smaller combustion chamber. You get a higher compression ratio. It'll make better power. I think it's going to be around 460 horsepower, 480 foot-pounds of torque. The NV4500 needs to be rebuilt, or I'll just find someone with another one and buy it that doesn't grind, because my synchros for 3rd and 4th gear are shot. Transfer case, we're probably going to go to an MP241, because to slip yoke eliminate the 261 that's in there now is a little bit of a bitch, and the 241 is already just a flange instead of a slip yoke. The parts that I already have for this swap, there's a couple things that I didn't have yet when I first filmed that, which were actually the Ford front axle. I got that later. I originally was going to do this with a GM front axle, so I still have a GM Dana 60. I'm looking to sell it, but I also didn't have the solid axle swap brackets just yet, and like a couple other things, but it's here now. It's on off-road design solid axle swap kit brackets. I'm going to show you how I drilled out, mounted all of that. It's on General Spring K30 springs. I'm probably going to take out the 4th leaf spring. I don't think I'll need it. I do want to go to ORD custom springs eventually. I'll probably do that when I go through the axle again. It just takes them a while to make them, and I want to get the truck on its own weight. WFO frame plates. WFO hooked me up with all the steering. Mainly the only people I've gotten parts from has been WFO and Off-Road Design, General Spring for the springs, and I have plans to order some things from DIY 4x, the shackle flip, and some other stuff, but for the most part those have been the main people I've purchased things from. I believe his name is Trevor at WFO, has been a big help. He talked me through the whole steering. He basically I told him I got the Off-Road Design solid axle swap kit. He convinced me to go to the Ford axle, and then from there he just kind of gave me everything I would need as far as steering, the pitman arm, the brake caliper conversions. I've got my rotors machined down. I documented that as well. So, I'm sorry, not my rotors, the hubs to the Ford axle machined down, and I documented that at the machine shop so you guys can get an idea of what's going on with that, so you can have slip-on and off rotors and maintain my GM heavy-duty brakes, which are great brakes. Obviously the bed is off. The black bed was also pretty shot and rusty and beat up, so I got this really clean silver one. Once all this mechanical work is done on this truck, I plan on getting the frame bead blasted and recoated and get the truck painted and looking all nice again. It'll be nice for a little while. I gotta get that dent taken out. I wrapped it around a pole pretty bad. That was the final nail in the coffin for the black bed. That's why I got the silver one now. But overall, it's in good shape. So, this is what we're starting with. and basically I'm going to edit up the rest of the videos I've taken of the process so far and get them spliced in so you guys can see where we're at. Alright guys, so here is the WFO pitman arm. This was the right one for my truck. Again, I called over the phone, so I kind of we just went over a verbal list of the shit I needed, and he helped me out. So he picked it. I couldn't tell you exactly what one it is, like degree-wise or length or whatever. I think their website's pretty straightforward. They pretty much specialize in these GM heavy-duty trucks, so, you know, you should be good to go, easy to find it. But, you know, if you're serious about buying parts, just give them a call. They'll make it pretty easy. These are my U-bolt flip brackets, or plates, and my U-bolts for the Ford Dana 60 specifically. I believe this is the hardware for that. This whole strip of hardware is for the kingpin, or the crossover steering conversion, and like the kingpin, these go over the kingpins that are in there now, sorry. So basically, this arm is going to go on the knuckle here. You can see on this one, the hardware's a little cleaner. And it's going to allow my steering bracket to come down a little bit higher up over the leaf spring, but the tie rod will still be below the leaf spring. I'm pretty sure on these trucks it's kind of hard to do a leaf spring setup and run high steer. So we are sticking with the tie rod below the leaf springs, but I mean, this shit is thick. This is like no joke, so I'm not really too worried about, I don't know why my camera won't focus, but it's actually really starting to piss me off. I don't think we need to be too worried about this hitting a rock and getting fucked up. I know it's a heavy truck, and you know, I'm still gonna be careful and conscious of it, but I have more faith in it than a regular tie rod, that's for sure. Excuse me. These are the heims for the tie rod. The drag link needed ball joints because of the angles that it's up against. So this is the ball joints they sent. They got weld-in bungs, and then obviously they're threaded. But the heims are for the tie rod. He told me, you know, do they allow it in your state as far as inspections go? I told him I don't get my cars inspected because I do not care about that. And he said, cool, I'll send you heims. So I got those. Again, all this hardware is to replace this crossover steering install. These are what the frame plates look like. Really nice, actually. They fit really, really, really well. I'm so happy with these. It just gives you such a nice clean slate to start from. So that's that. The other one is actually on the truck right now. It's clamped on there. So we're going to go out there. I scribed the line where we're going to grind, and then we'll weld it. These are the brackets to allow your HD brakes to go on the Ford Dana 60. Alright guys, so just real quick, we're going to take a look at this off-road design 01 to 10 GMT 800 solid axle swap kit, and kind of what you get in the box. There's just not a lot of videos of these things hands-on, so I just want to show you. So these are the frame brackets for the, well, they're all frame brackets. These are the rear ones. They're going to go on the frame like that. You can see the frame's going to pass right through here. These bolt holes are on the bottom. This flange is on the bottom, not the top. And this will actually be the passenger side. So you can see how it's flush with one end. Sorry. See how it's flush with one end? And on the other end, there's this excess. The excess goes towards the rear of the truck. And this has to be on the bottom. So that makes this the inside. It's mirrored right now. I'm sorry about that. It's definitely going to be confusing. But just to give you an idea, close-up look at these. Really nicely made. Big fucking welds, too. So you get two of those, of course. One for each side. So those guys. Now you're going to get two of these. One of these is out by the truck right now. I'm test fitting it and seeing what I got to do to make it work. So that one's out there. This is the driver's side. Front eye, it's called. They even put their off-road design plate on there, which is pretty cool. Again, I'm sorry it's mirrored, but just can't do anything about that. It's just an effect of a camera. So yeah, these are all big 1/4 inch thick plate welded brackets, really nicely made. So you get those, and then you get two shackles. So the shackles will go on the rear, the leaf spring will go directly into this eye, so the leaf connects directly to this, but this rear one will get a shackle like that. So you can see what they're going to be doing there. Really nice hardware. Greasable bolts are included. Let's see if I can get it. There you go. So that's cool. I actually already pressed one of the bushings into the shackle just to see how it goes. Goes in nicely. And then you're gonna slide one of these bolts through it. You get 4 of these bolts. And there you go. So that's nice. And then you just get more hardware for mounting these things to the frame. They get positioned, and then you actually have to drill out most of the holes, or like the front ones use the old tow hook holes to align it, and then the other 5 holes you drill out. The rear ones actually need to be completely, all of them have to be drilled. The only reference you have is a measurement from front to rear. And they also do include pretty detailed, straightforward instructions. It's pretty simple. There's not a lot to it, so any instructions are cool that they included those. So yeah, really nicely made stuff. Obviously it comes with more bushings and bolts and things to mount all this stuff. Pretty complete kit, which is nice. So we're gonna go out on the truck right now, and I have to take a grinder to a little, I gotta clearance my body mounts a little bit, so I'll show you guys what I'm talking about right now. We'll go out there and we'll check it out. My goal is to get these front ones mounted, so let's get on it. I'm still expecting shock hoops from WFO, and then I believe that's it from them. And then also from Off-Road Design, or I'm sorry, from General Spring, we're expecting those 47-inch leaf springs. And this is what we are working on. So I've already cut off most of the brackets actually. I really only have this shit on the outside of the frame rails left. The other side is not done as far as the outside goes. They still has all 3 of these. But on this side you can see I just got this, and this side is actually done. It's ready to start getting ground down. The other side, I still have the 3 brackets. This is removed. And I still have this one inside one, which was the equivalent of that bracket, but it's on this side. So tools I've been using were an oxyacetylene torch till I ran out of gas, grinder, and a sawzall. Mostly the torch and the sawzall actually, with some good long blades. It gets in there pretty decent actually. So yeah, I just want to show you guys where we're at right now. I'll probably check in again when we're down to clean frame rails, because you know that's when stuff starts to get fun. Start hanging leaf spring shackles and stuff. Hey, so I know that was kind of a lot of random clips in one. I wanted to catch you guys up on give an intro to the project, where we're trying to get with the truck, what parts I've received, and then get that first step out of the way of cutting all this shit off the frame, because I didn't record all of that. It's pretty straightforward, and in my opinion it was the worst part of the project so far. Definitely the single longest step. Took me several hours, a lot of sawzall blades, a lot of grinding, covered in dust, getting burnt, it was kind of a nightmare, but I'm glad it's done. So I wanted to get that out of the way, so that way in the next videos we can only focus on adding parts to the truck. No more cutting shit off the truck, all building up from this point on. So hopefully you guys are interested in staying along for the project and you're caught up. Stay tuned for technically part 3. The intro to the truck was part 1, episode 1. This is going to be episode 2, catching you guys up. Episode 3, we're going to start putting on frame plates, getting in some leaf spring hangers, and start getting this truck built back up. So thanks for watching, and see you later.